Okay, so we're here with some South African students. We did an exchange with them, so me and Fiamma already went to South Africa. Now they're here with us in Milan for 3 weeks, and we're gonna ask them some questions. So how do subjects differ from your school?
Well, we don't have choices such as scientific and classical and everything. Instead, in our first 2 grades of high school, grade 8 and 9, we all take the same 11 subjects. And then in grade 10, we have to have 4 compulsory subjects, which are maths, English, and then a first additional language of either Afrikaans or Zulu. And then life orientation, which is a bit like your social sciences. And then we choose 3 other subjects of our own, which can be anything from biology to physical science, geography, history, accounting, etc. So we have a big choice. And another difference is that we change classes all the time, so we don't stay in the same class. With each subject, we'll move classrooms and the people in our class change.
Okay. And what do you feel about not wearing a uniform?
It's not as easy as we thought it would be, because a uniform is very easy. So every day you just throw on your uniform, but every morning you have to get up and decide what to wear. It's quite a hassle, and uniform, it's just everyone just looks the same. We don't have to really care. We all have to look good here.
Okay, so how have you found being in a co-ed school when you're used to being only in an only girls school?
Well, I was in a co-ed school for my primary school. And I remember that the boys definitely kind of keep things a bit more interesting. But also, with it being in a girls' school, there's sort of no reason for us to be shy. So we're a little bit more, how would you say it? Self-conscious. Yeah, self-conscious maybe. Yeah, and at our school we just do our thing. So yeah.
And what about sports? Is there a big emphasis in your school?
Sports at our school is a huge emphasis on sport. It's very competitive between other schools, and our grounds, we have lots of facilities for sports, we have big fields and tennis courts and squash courts and pools or whatever. So sports is a big emphasis. We play a lot of sport, and it's a big thing to be in the highest team and to win against other schools.
So how does the amount of work differ?
Well, the work is definitely very different from ours. Obviously your class is a special case because you're doing high school in 4 years instead of 5. But you go through a lot more work in a term than we would, and in a lot more detail. And you also do subjects that we don't even touch on, like Greek or Latin or philosophy, which we generally only do in university. Yeah.
And what activities do you do after school?
Mainly after school, our school ends at 3. And mainly after school, people go to sport, their sport practices, or they have cultural activities like art and drama. And usually after school, we get home at around 6 after our extramurals, so usually we just chill at home and do homework and whatever we have to do.
So how do you get to school?
Well, you guys have a lot more freedom here. We can't walk anywhere because, one, the distances are way too far for us, and it's just not what people really do. So we have to get our parents to drive us to school every day. It's not an option, because if we had to walk to school, well, some of us would take an hour. So we always have to drive. So yeah.
And do you do other trips apart from exchanges?
Yes, our school offers a lot of opportunities to go and see other countries and other places. We have what we call Bush School. We have the Saints Trek. We have another exchange program which is for more or less 3 months. We have a lot of tours that go overseas. So yeah, there's a lot of other things.
How does your school campus differ from ours?
Well, because it's in the center of Milan, it's built up, there's lots of floors. Our campus is spread out, so there's 1 floor or 2 floors, and there's a lot more classrooms here because there's a lot more students, I think. And I guess because the boys are separated from us, the girls' school's on one side and the boys' school's on the other side, and there's like fields separating. So yeah, I think it's around the same side, just ours is spread out and yours is together.
And how is Johannesburg different from Milan?
Well, it's a lot different in especially the buildings are very different. The independence here is a lot more. You're a lot more independent here. You can walk, and in Joburg you can't really walk wherever you want to go.
Well, yeah, what Jess said about the buildings, well, our buildings are much more modern, more new, because Milan is such an old city and it's full of all the history, so you'll turn the corner and see this from very long ago in this church and everything, so we don't really have anything like that. And like with the campus, Johannesburg is a lot more spread out in general, where in Milan it's all together with all the streets and you can just access everywhere really easily.
Okay, thank you.